So it's been a pretty good week for Xbox news thus far, and it seems like it continues to rain down good news, and I feel like this is something that everybody's talking about, or should be, and the main reason why everybody should be talking about this is quite simply because when it's the other way around, people talk about it nonstop, right? And so I feel like it's kind of disingenuous to allow the negative side of things without talking about the positive side of things when there's positive stuff to talk about. And there's most definitely positive things to talk about here. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of cover that and just kind of give my 2 cents on this stuff, because I feel like it is critically important to be even keel with these types of news and bits and pieces of things that are going on. So I'm sure maybe many of you will agree and some of you might disagree, but whatever. I've got to keep it real, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So what's up, everybody? Crap Gamer here with Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Again, I really do appreciate if you guys could like the video, share it, and maybe even consider subscribing. I do daily gaming content, and it really helps me out if you guys could do that. It would just mean the world to me. So thank you guys for rocking out with me, honestly. So again, I try to be informative. I try to be fun. A lot of times people want to hate on the Xbox Series S, and listen, I've even probably been there a little bit. But I've always thought, if developers are worth anything, their salt, then they will 100% be able to get games on the Series S and running fine. The thing is, there's so many different configurations that these companies do to put stuff on PC and Steam Deck and this and that. And, nobody really complains about that, but everybody was complaining about the Series S, and people thought, oh man, they'll have to stop putting games on it, blah, blah, blah. Well, it looks like that's not the case. Stalker 2 on Series S was actually thought to be impossible, but they say any modern game can run on the system with proper optimization. So, I can see a lot of haters in shambles right now thinking, man, this really kind of debunks a lot of what, was kind of being said. And, I can't say that I'm upset about that. Listen, I have a Series X. It's what I main on. But I also have to say, you know what? This is something that you have to kind of be thankful for and just say, hey, give props when it's needed, right? So, Stalker 2 in development from GSC Game World initially thought an Xbox Series S version of the game would be impossible, but now it thinks that any modern game can run on the system with proper optimization, which that's the key point, right? Obviously, that doesn't give Microsoft a free pass, and what I mean by that is, when we look at things and we go, okay, this is something that, honestly, when we look at this thing, we kind of look at the way that they've kind of handled things, and if your console's not worthwhile to developers, they're still not going to develop for it or develop right for it. And we look at possibilities like Wukong or like Baldur's Gate 3. These are games where not having the a platform sell as well really hampers it. So it doesn't really cut Microsoft out totally, but it does mean that developers can do a good job with this. So in a recent interview, they discussed the least powerful current gen system, saying that at first they thought an Xbox Series S version of the game would be impossible due to the game's many mechanics and system's lower specs compared to other current generation systems. But as the studio started optimizing and added new features for streaming information, they squeezed every last megabyte from the piece of system that they could, ultimately making the version of the game possible. Following this experience, the Stalker 2 developers believe that every modern game can run on Series S with proper optimization. The experience also boosted the studio's optimization expertise, benefiting the PC version of the game as well, making it a lot more performant and lowering the minimum system requirements, which are rather low for a modern game. Speaking further about Stalker 2 console's release, the studio confirmed the game runs at 60 FPS on Series X with some small dips into the upper 50s. during gameplay, and maybe some bigger drops during narrative scenarios that have no impact on the experience. But they also hope to optimize the game further before or after launch. On Series S, the team decided to go with 30 frames per second gameplay, despite being able to hit 60, albeit inconsistently. However, the studio considers a 60 FPS performance mode possible, though it wasn't specified if it would be available at launch or after the game releases next month. So, again, it's just nice to see that there's some positive stuff coming out about the Series S. I feel like, it's a platform that gets a lot of hate and probably doesn't really deserve all the hate that it gets, to say the least. So, yeah, nice to see it get some of the positive comments and things like that. Like, I'm excited by the fact listen, there's 5 Series S's in my house, right? There's one in the living room. All the kids have them. Quality console, great console, small console, unassuming console. So I can understand, I don't really understand all the hate that it usually gets, but, I also think that it is a console that obviously people should know what they're getting before they get it. You're not going to get the same full experience that you would on a Series X or a PS5. And speaking of Stalker 2, it looks like some of the final previews are here, and it looks like it's going to be great on Game Pass. It's actually been a very long wait for the arrival of Stalker 2 on Game Pass, but we're in the final stretch, which is exciting for a lot of people. The open world FPS is about a month away from launching, and a bunch of early previews dropped, and the game sounds like it's going to be pretty awesome. IGN said, when I wasn't taking stock of my paltry ammunition levels and hunger gauge, I was looking out at beautiful fields of red poppy flowers. When I wasn't getting distracted by interesting side quests, I was doing my best to lure the mutants into an anomaly trap, and when it was over, just like when it felt like it was getting extra good, it still had left an impression on me. The impression that the team at GSC Game World has created something special. Eurogamer said, in an age of clockwork Souls-likes and heavily created experience like God of War Ragnarok, the flexibility and adaptivity of Stalker 2's sandbox is refreshing and intriguing. If it continues to expand and elaborate upon this across its whole, GSC Game World might just have something special in their hands. VGC said, we're keen to have the final game in our hands after what was an impressive few hours. It's hard to imagine most studios making even a decent games in these circumstances, but for GSC Game World to emerge from the literal rubble is inspiring. And Windows Central said, make no mistake, Stalker 2 is a Game of the Year contender, and I feel immensely privileged to have been able to bring you the glimpse of a rare game that looks to set not only do justice to a legendary predecessor, but take its franchises to new heights in the process. So, Stalker 2 is going to run great on Series X. It's going to run great on Series S. And it looks like we're starting to see people kind of come around to it. It's getting really great previews, and that's what Microsoft needs. If they're going to partner with games, I mean, look, this game's going to undoubtedly come to PlayStation at some point. For sure. I mean, we heard about it. It might not be 3 months. They have, 3-month exclusivity, but, given the circumstances, it might take longer than that for it to come to PlayStation. But still, it's going to be a Game Pass game, and it should be able to take full advantage of the Xbox hardware, which is something that I think is really lacking so far from the Xbox itself. So that's an exciting thing, a very exciting aspect. And like I said, the game looks like it's going to be incredible, and I think that's something that a lot of people probably are fairly excited about as well. It really kind of makes for a better experience and things like that. So nice to see that. Microsoft does have a lot of cool things rolling right now. Stalker 2 does look like a very good game, and something that I'm starting to see a little bit of excitement build up for. Is it going to be like a huge smashing success? Hey, listen, I don't know. I can't predict these things, but, it does look like it's going to have some nice things to offer, and it's going to be something that honestly brings much joy to people in general. So hopefully you guys agree with what I'm saying, and, I think this is, just a fantastic thing to see. My fingers crossed that it does good, especially given all the circumstances. But let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to play Stalker 2? Are you guys going to play it on Game Pass? Are you going to buy it? Do you not have You know, any interest in it, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. I appreciate you guys. If you could, slap the like button, subscribe as well. Have a great day. Crap gamer out.